Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Watch. Today I'm taking a look at a new visual novel game called what I can only assume is Trinoline. I'll go with that. This was released on Steam on April 18th, 2019. Its regular price is $40 Canadian, probably around 35 US or regional equivalent, and it's developed by Minori and published by Manga Gamer. So this is, I believe, the final English released visual novel from Minori. They recently went out of business. It was either late last year or earlier this year, after they partnered with Manga Gamer for about 4 years to bring their Japanese visual novels to the West. So the store page description reads, "One summer day, Shun Nanami meets a girl who's the splitting image of his dead sister. She turns out to be a high-tech android indistinguishable from a human being. So begins a touching tale in a world where androids and human beings coexist." So it is a very interesting premise. Given that it's $40 Canadian, I imagine it's pretty long, so hopefully we'll be able to meet the android in this video. Let's just hop right into it.
流れ星。流れている間に3回願い事を唱えるとその願いは叶う。でも本当はそんなことできない。言葉を繰り返している間に夜空の向こうへ消え去ってしまうからだ。だから流れ星なんかに思いを込めたりはしない。この手で未来をつかみ自らの願いを叶える。ただそれだけを考えて生きてきた。空、星、星空、夜の星空、真っ白い天井に透明な窓があり、その向こうには夜空が広がっている。真っ黒な闇を切り裂くように2羽の鳥が飛んでいる。豊かだ。一つメモリに記録される。あれは空を飛ぶ鳥。それなら私は豊かは星になったの。キラキラ輝く空の星に。誰かの声が聞こえた。顔を上げる。そこにはおはよう鳥の。こんにちは。こんばんは。あなたは鳥の。私が作ったの。
That's pretty close, Torino.
鳥の？そうよ。差し出された手に応えるように腕を伸ばす。あなたに与えられた3つの原則を言ってみせて。はい。第1条、アンドロイドは人間に危害を加えてはならない。第2条、アンドロイドは人間に与えられた命令に服従しなければならない。第3条、アンドロイドは第1条および第2条に反する恐れのない限り自己を守ありがとう。機械的に口元が動いて言葉を発していく。これが私で、これが私の声。あなたはこれからこの世界で生きるの。だからあなたに名前をあげる。名前？あなたは白根。
What's the name of his sister?
白根？そう。それがこの世界での名前。白根。この大空を羽ばたいていく存在。そう。もう一人の白根として。
Very intriguing beginning. Definitely. Trinoline. I don't know what the LL move bit means. I have no idea. This is the all ages version, by the way. That's the Steam release. It is also on Manga Gamer, and there's also a free patch available on Manga Gamer. Once something is forgotten, a person's heart dies a little. Just as the kanji for forget is written from the characters for losing one's heart. In due time, everyone forgets both the fun and painful times. On the other end of the spectrum comes a word which means to learn and see clearly. That, I heard, was the origin of the kanji for remember, which is the combination of the characters for large eye and man. Even if one loses their heart, so long as they see clearly, they'll trend away from death toward life. So I hated all the adults around me who said you were better off forgetting all your painful memories. The voices, the figures, the sounds, the images. It seemed as if I had to live without regrets because all those things lingered over me, and I was unable to purge them. However, my heart had been dead ever since that one summer day. Whenever the temperature started to rise and I started to remember, I turned a blind eye in the face of that memory. I knew I would never get to see her again, because time continuously presses forward, never stopping. Just like sand seeping from your hand right through your grip. I alone had become an adult, and her time would forever be frozen. I wonder if I've changed since then. Someone called out to me, from incredibly close by. Your face is way too close, Yuri. My shoes. They're so cat. They've got wings. I could tell who it was without even having to think about it. There's only one person who would invade my personal space so deliberately. Wow, she is well endowed. The mouth moves, amazing. You were? Oh, I'm sorry. My childhood friend, who I always walked to school with, Yuri Miyakaze. Although we did have an agreement to head to school regardless of the other person never showing up to our meeting spot. I really do feel bad. I said I was sorry. I know. I may not have looked it, but I was trying to smile. It's terrifying. Sure. What are the sound effects? And isn't that more of a grin than a smile? Or is that just your way of smiling? Anything goes with you, doesn't it? Got it. Please go easy on me. These small, friendly conversations were just her way of showing how concerned she was. I bet she'd get mad at me if I said that out loud, though. Yuri and I left the beach at our usual pace and headed for school. Oh my god, amazing! Wow, it's so well animated. By the way, how did you know I'd be at the beach? Do I? She hadn't said it outright, but I was sure she went looking for me out of concern for my well-being. Yuri had been practically glued to me for one reason or another since that day. To be honest, it actually kind of annoyed me at first. It was all thanks to her that I'd been able to smile again, and I knew I couldn't possibly thank her enough for it. Oh yeah, it's almost summer break. This will be your first summer vacation since transferring to our school, right? Hit me right where it hurts. Yuri was a newly enrolled first-year student, while I was a re-matriculating second year, soon to be a third year. Those ahead of the game were probably working toward achieving their prospective career paths right about now. It hurt my head just thinking about it.
そうそう、今朝のニュース見た？サラ、またすごいものを発明したみたいね。
She did?
何？シュン見てないわけ？
I left the house right after I woke up this morning.
朝ごはんはちゃんと食べた？
More or less.
なら、いっか。
Her big bright smile only served to embarrass me.
そう、それでね、今朝のニュースにサラの話が出てて、世界がびっくりするような画期的なアンドロイドが完成間近なんだって。その登録申請みたいなのが国際なんとか機関みたいなのにされてるらしくって。
Oh, so their friend Sarah made Trinoline? That's mostly gibberish to me, but still pretty incredible all the same.
そうそう、すごいってこと。
You look really happy about that, Yuri.
そりゃ嬉しいよ。サラは私のことを忘れてるだろうけど、幼馴染だし、世界を変えるくらいの発明をしちゃうんじゃないかってみんな大期待なんだから。お父さんとお母さんだってサラのことを応援してるし、でももう半分くらい世界を変えちゃってるかもだけど。
Yuri proudly snorted with a heh. It was almost as if she were talking about herself. The androids on this island are operating via the system Sarah came up with too.
ああ、そうだね、そうそう。
I didn't know a lot about it, but I'd heard from my dad that Sarah was generating substantial results in the field of android development. Little by little, the androids were permeating society.
この島から未来が発信されてるの。それってすごいことだと思わない？
That's a little blown out of proportion. I forced a smile. These days, androids were even being used in nursing and childcare. The island had been designated as a special administration zone, wherein research could be conducted on all the various possibilities androids could provide, and were allowed to coexist with the island's residents. Naturally, there were those who were skeptical about androids, so this island had been given the duty of acting as a model case for those individuals. That was why many robotic researchers, engineers, and the like had assembled here.
アンドロイド研究の先頭に立ってるのがサラだって言っても過言じゃないんだから。サラがみんなを笑顔にしてる。
Yeah, she is. Like Sarah, my dad was also involved in android development. He's currently abroad right now, though.
みんなが笑顔だったらいい世の中だよ。と柄にもなくいいことを言ってみる。
It was very nice. Yuri whispered up at the sky, practically talking to herself. If everyone were smiling. Shirone's face flickered in a corner of my mind, but I gently sealed it away in the depths of my heart.
シュンは最近サラと話したりはしてないの？
Huh? No, there's no way I could have.
シュンは RRC に住んでるし、話す機会があるもんだと思ってた。
Just because I'm at the RRC doesn't mean I can get into the research facility, though. The Robotics Research Center, or more commonly known as the RRC. There was company-owned housing on site, but it was distinctly separate from the research facility itself.
散歩してたりもしないんだ。
Not that I know of. There aren't that many people who have seen her in the first place.
あ、そっか。テレビに出るのは広報の人だし、人前に出るのが嫌いなのかな。
Which explained why the image I had of Sarah was stuck in her childhood form.
きっとすごく美人になってるね。
Who knows?
だってすっごく綺麗だったし。
The way Yuri described her as pretty rather than cute represented Sarah perfectly, in my opinion. Even back then, Sarah had a somewhat mature air to her. You could sense something mysterious within those distant eyes of hers. How pretty. I do believe that's the impression I had of her even in my younger days. That was why I admired her so, because she's pretty.
どんな風になってるのかな。髪はどれくらいの長さになってて、服はどんなの着てるのかな。意外とお笑いとか見てたりして。
Hard to say. Except we will definitely meet her at some point. Yuri sounded like she was having a lot of fun speculating as we talked.
シュンはどう思う？昔よりももっと綺麗になってると思うでしょ？
Who knows? You know Tsumugi-san better than I do. What's with that smirk?
シュン、あんなに夢中で追いかけてたのに、サラのこと。
What are you talking about? Ugh. I let out an incredulous sigh.
さっさと告白して付き合って、なんなら結婚までしちゃえばよかったのに。
That's way too hasty anyway you slice it.
シロネちゃん、お兄ちゃんがサラちゃんと結婚したら、お姉ちゃんができるから嬉しいとか言ってたし。
She never said anything like that to me.
もう興味はないんだ。
Less interested, more supportive. Just like you are.
うまく逃げたね。
Yuri's grin was clearly intended to mock me. Actually, I've heard a little bit about Tsumugi-san from my dad.
そうなの？
It's from a while back, but I heard she spends most of her time holed up in her room doing nothing but research. That was the summed up version of what I'd heard about Sarah from Dad. I never asked any follow-up questions on my own, nor did I have any idea what became of her after the fact.
今でもそんな状態だったら、かわいそうね。
Yeah?
研究室に閉じこもってて、ずっと仕事してるって感じだったら。
Makes you wonder. Still, she must be doing well. There's no way she'd be able to come up with so many inventions otherwise, right?
そうじゃなくって、遊べてないんだとしたらかわいそうだなって。子供の頃サラともいっぱい遊んだから余計にそう思っちゃう。
Why not invite her to hang out during summer break then?
夏休みに？
I made the suggestion in an attempt to do something about the depressed look she had on her face.
会ってくれるかな？そもそも私たちのこと覚えていてくれてるかな？
I'm not sure, but let's invite her anyway. If she turns us down, that's fine.
そうね、まずは誘ってみなくちゃ。引きこもりのサラが飛びつくようなスペシャルな夏休みプランを考えようっと。海にバーベキューに山登り、この島には楽しいことがいっぱいあるんだから。
None of those sound like things that Shut-in would want to do. Maybe the barbecue. Food's good. Just as Yuri puffed up her chest and regained her cheer, the silhouette of the school came into view. I love that the background was just slowly scrolling in the back. Hello? Like, I know it repeated, but it was still really cool. She's kind of noisy this morning, huh? At the school gates, a raised voice with characteristic intonation reached my ears. I felt like I'd heard this off-kilter accent, as if from some pseudo-foreigner somewhere before.
シュン。
Hmm?
私体調悪くなったから今日はここで帰る。
Oh no. Huh? You weren't acting that way before, so why now?
Good morning! おはようございま
Huh.
す。そろそろ出席日数やばいから休みたくはなかったんだけど。
That reminds me, aren't you on the disciplinary committee?
それ今思い出すことじゃないでしょ。Hey! そ
Whoa.
この二人、朝の校門前で不純異性交友とは大胆不敵。頭隠して尻隠さずにも程があります。
Her eyes are massive. Holy shit. They're like twice the size of her ears. They're basically the size of her breasts.
花子先輩に見つかっちゃったし。
Hanako?
シット。先輩に向かって風紀委員が舌打ちなんて学級崩壊です。現代社会の闇ですね。それに邪魔したのはあなたたちの方です。せっかくの爽やかな朝の挨拶運動を邪魔しないでほしいです。
Okay, so she's also got the Kansai accent.
登校の邪魔してるのは先輩でしょ。この年になって大声で挨拶をして通るとか恥ずかしすぎてできないわよ。はい、子供がやっていることをなぜできないです。
Senpai, please calm down. People are staring. I guess she's probably a foreigner, like a gaijin, because she's got blonde hair. If I recalled, her full name was Hanako F. Bristol. It wasn't just for show, she seemed to be a genuine foreigner. Her accent was still suspicious, though.
これが落ち着いていられますか。 シュン、不純異性行為は校則違反です。
Yuri and I aren't like that. Anyway, that doesn't really apply to us since we're not actually on school grounds yet.
一理あります。わかりました。このことは不問にしましょう。
Although I do think like Japanese schools do actually like enforce rules about how you carry yourself outside of school. I know in Yu-Gi-Oh! in the Japanese dub of like season 0, one of the characters gets a part-time job, which is obviously not interfering with school, but it's totally against the rules apparently.
だいたい朝の挨拶運動って言ったって先輩一人しかいないじゃない。他の委員は挨拶はしたい人がすればいいのです。もちろんみんなが自然と気持ちのいい挨拶をするのがベストではありますか？
Right.
だから私はどの委員にも運動を強制しません。その代わり私はみんなが元気よく挨拶をするまでこの運動を一人でも続けます。
She declares brazenly, without malice nor sarcasm. I was pretty sure this candid smile of hers was the reason everybody adored her so much.
ユーリ、あなたは風紀委員です。他の生徒の模範とならなくてはいけません。
Is the reason her eyes are so giant because she's a foreigner? Maybe.
ですから強制はしませんがお願いさせてください。
Yuri's reaction to Hanako-senpai's polite request was similar to an elementary student who'd just been given food they disliked. As bad as she may have been at dealing with Hanako-senpai, Yuri is a meek girl at her core, so direct remarks like these were incredibly effective on her.
はい、ユーリ、おはようございます。
Thank you.
おはようございます。 What? 何か言いましたか？
What?
おはようございます。とってもいい挨拶です。ユーリも次から挨拶運動に参加しますか？結構です。もう先を急ぎますので。Wait a minute! 挨拶運動に参加すればユーリの出席状況について考えてもらうことを学校側に求めましょう。そんなことできるの？
Usually I'd stop playing by now, but I'm really enjoying this, and the voice acting's really fun to listen to.
私は風紀委員長ですから遅刻早退をなかったことにはできませんが生活態度が良好なことを示せれば留年という処分は遠ざかるでしょう。
I'm very disappointed there's no translation for that. Yuri groaned, seeming conflicted by the golden opportunity presented to her. I personally didn't want Yuri to repeat the year, so I hoped she would accept Hanako-senpai's proposal.
ただし遅刻は腹っきりですから。
Oh.
忘れん坊は打ち首の上始終引き回しです。
Fair, I think. Yeah, that sounds good.
聞きかじった日本語を適当に羅列してるだけじゃん。来年には私は卒業してしまうのですよ。それまでに有利には風紀委員の何たるかを全て叩き込みます。有利は私の後を継いで風紀委員の委員長になるのですから。私委員長になるなんて一言も。何を言っているのです。私の見込んだ有利なら No problem.
No problem.
風紀は一日にしてならず風紀を乱すものをこの世から一掃するのが私たちの役目なのです。私そんな秘密結社みたいな委員会に入った覚えない。
Wave of students hurried past Tanako-senpai and Yuri as their dispute unfurled. We're gonna be late if we kept this up. Hanako-senpai, can we talk about this later? We aren't gonna make it in time for homeroom. Huh? I blinked 2 or 3 times. Just now, for an instant.
どうしました、シュン?
Is it gonna be his sister? No, it couldn't be. She was a genius and had no reason to take classes. Sarah! There's no way she'd come to school. Maybe I was going crazy since Yuri and I had been talking about her earlier. Now that their usual slapstick routine had ended, I recalled that earlier sight. Who the heck was that? Oh well, may as well head to class myself.
今日も朝から災難だったね。
Another girl, wow. Okay, I'm gonna leave the video there. Almost did like half an hour of this. It was really fun actually. There's a lot of girls in this. And we did not meet the android unfortunately, but we saw her a little bit at the beginning, so that was kind of close enough for me. It's very like slice of life so far, but it's gonna be like it's described as a heart-wrenching tale of android love, so I think it's gonna be a very good story. And it's gonna be pretty long as well. Anyway, that was Trinoline, something like that. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!